Yeah, you hear that all right?
Yeah, you good?
Don't fall asleep on us now.
Hey, man.
One last cycle. Okay, we're going to prop up under our forearms. We're going to do the same thing. Eyes forward. Let's go left arm forward, eyes forward. Switch arms. Good. We're going to go on to all fours. And we're just going to work some spinal cars. We're going to start neutral spine. We're going to tuck our hips under, taking your belly button to the ceiling. Nice big arch spine. Look back between your toes. Then we're going to slowly reverse that from the hips. Through to the mid-spine. Upper T-spine. Finally look up. We're going to reverse that again. So we're going to go pelvis under. Up to lower T-spine. Upper T-spine. Between your toes. And one last time. Tuck, bring the hips down. Lower T-spine. Upper spine. Look up. Reverse that last time. Tuck the hips. Around the back. Good. So now we're going to sit back. If this is comfortable, I want to keep our toes tucked underneath. Okay, if it starts to get uncomfortable, you just flatten them and sit all the way back. Okay. So now we're going to work on a little bit of rotation. So we're going to hunch forward, rotate to the right, side bend, lean back, side bend the other side, and then rotate to the front. We're going to reverse that. Rotate, side bend, extend back, side bend, and rotate to the front. Good. So now we're going to go scaps. So same thing. Arms are going to go out at 45 degrees. We're going to retract the shoulder blades back, drop down, reach forward, glide up, pinch back, glide down, reach forward, glide up, and now we're going to reverse, drop down, retract back, lift up, reach forward, glide down, track back, raise up, reach forward. Good. Shake your arms out. We're going to go shoulder cars. We're going to go up, reach back, turn. Thumb should still be pointing back. Lift up, back and around. One more. All the way down. Switch sides. Good. So we're going to go back into all fours. We're going to do our hip cars from quadruped position. So from here, I'm going to bring the knee up, out to the side, around, forward, lift back, up and around towards the elbow, place. Okay, same thing. We're going to go two more on this side. Lift forward, up to the side and around. One more. Good. Switch sides. Remember to go nice and slow on these. Want to explore the ranges of motion. Keep that knee nice and high on the way back up. One more time. Good. So we're going to go back down to the floor under our belly. We're going to do the same thing we did the other day with the prone hip car. So it's that same movement. We're just working on the external rotation, trying to get the knee as high up towards the armpit as we can go. We'll go hands down, forehead on top of the hands. Start right foot first. So you're going to bring the knee, bring the foot up in the air, lift the knee, externally rotate, bring that knee up as high as you can, let it settle onto the ground, lift, back around and replace. Two more. Lift the foot, extend the hip, rotate, bring the knee up as far as you can, lift, back and replace. One more. All right, switch sides. We'll do three on the left or the right if you start on the left. Lift the foot, extend the hip, bring the knee all the way up, lift, and replace. Lift the foot, extend the hip, externally rotate, bring the knee up, lift it and replace. One more. Lift the foot, extend the hip, externally rotate, lift, and replace. Good. All right, we're going to work a little bit on our toes. See if you guys can see mine. All right. So what we're going to try to do is get our big toes up off the ground. Place. Big toes up off the ground. Place. Big toes up off the ground. Replace. Now we're going to go the opposite way. So we're going to try to bring the rest of the toes up. Keep the big toes down. Place. If they all have to come up and then you kind of wiggle around and put the big toes back down to keep the other toes up, that's fine. Just working on a little bit of that toe movement and control. Sometimes the 6-shooters help. Bring those up. Good. So to help that and a little bit of that dorsiflexion, we're going to go onto one knee. Back toe is going to stay dorsiflex. Front foot's going to stay here. We're going to sit back into that heel, then come back forward. Sit back into that heel, come back forward. We're going to get a little bit more dorsiflexion on that front foot too. So we're going to work on the big toe. Now ankle dorsiflexion one more time. We'll switch sides, sit back, rock forward. Now we're going to switch sides. So we're going to sit back under the toes, reach forward, a little bit more dorsiflexion in that front foot. Sit back, push forward. One more. Sit back. Reach forward. Good. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more traditional mobility and movement. So we're going to start off with an adductor rock back. So I'm going to go one foot out to the side. Both hands on the ground. Back toe's going to stay dorsiflexed into the floor, so we're not going to go flat. Reach back. Come back forward. We're going to go 10 times. So stretch you should feel is going to be right on the inner part of the longer leg. One more. Good. We come back, switch sides. Image. Yeah. Hi. Good. So we're going to have a seat. I go back into our 90-90 position we were in the other day. And we're just going to work on a little capsular movement. So we're going to take this back leg. We're going to make sure the front stays down. If you need to, you can take that hand and push. If you've got a blocker or pillow, if that knee won't go all the way to the ground, put the blocker pillow underneath that knee and then just kind of push into it. So we're going to take this back knee, open it up, come back down. A little bit of upper body movement's fine with this if you want to turn back. Let's go 2 more. Good. We're going to keep this one open. We're going to start to drive it as far as we can, and then switch. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. If you've got one side that's a little bit stickier than the other, like I do, you can pause at this top part. Try to get about 1 millimeter further each time. Really create some tension at the top. Control that internal rotation back down. Go 1 more. Then at the top, we're going to hold again. What we're going to do is we're just going to roll into a shin box back and forth. Hands behind you is fine. If you can do this without hands, even better. Open up the lead leg first. Transition over. Open up. Transition over. Go 2 more back and forth. So open. Transition. One more time. Open. Transition. Open. Transition. Good. So from here, we're going to move into the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to take 1 foot out in front. We're going to take the back leg to get as straight as possible. So we don't want to get that bend in it. Just going to get right to here. Take the inside elbow. You're going to pry out. You can move into that hip a little bit. From here, we're going to go both feet on the ground. For both hands on the ground, we're going to lift the front toes. We're going to try to get that lead leg as straight as possible. Rock back forward. Take the hand to the sky. Come back down. Stand up. Switch sides. Back leg stays as straight as possible. We're going to pry that hip open a little bit. Turn in. Both hands down. Rock back. Try to drop the back heel. Pull the toes up. Back forward. Hand on the ground. Reach to the sky. Come forward. Switch sides. Step up, switch sides again. Pry that knee out. If you want, you can use the hand, turn into it. Rock back. Come forward. Reach. Go 1 more time each side. Both hands down, rock back, straighten out the front foot. Rock back forward, hand to the sky. Step up, 1 more time. Both hands down, straighten out the front leg. Rock back forward. Good. Come on back down. We're going to go into a quadruped T-spot. So all fours, we're going to go hand behind the ear. We're going to take the elbow underneath, elbow to the sky. We'll go 8 times on this. Okay, and then we'll switch sides. Good. So take about a second, grab a drink of water, coffee, or whatever. We'll come back, do a couple other T-spine openers. We'll do some hip openers, and then that'll be it. How are we all doing?
Good to go.
Moving well?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that last one, but
All right, good. All right, sweet. So the T-spine openers we're going to do is just a quick little lat stretch. It's play off a child's pose. Then we're going to do a windmill, and then we're going to do our hip opener. So just going to go child's pose down. We're going to walk our hands over. So we should feel a nice big stretch along this side. We're going to take 2 nice big inhale breaths. Inhale like you're smelling soup. Good soup. Once you're there, we're just going to walk our hands over. And I'll find those outer ranges. Find those corners. Breathe into the corners. The bigger and deeper you can inhale, the more space you can find. The more space we find, the more we can move. Go one more to the other side. Good. So we're going to move on to our side. And start on the right side. So make sure that bottom leg is nice and straight. We're going to hold the bottom arm underneath the top knee. We're going to bring that top knee up to about 90 degrees. We're going to bring this hand out in front. We're going to open it up. And then bring it across. We're going to go 5 times this way. Then from here, we're just going to draw like a clock, trying to keep that arm along the ground as long as possible. If you can't, that's fine. We're going to go 5 here. just like with anything, when you find those sticky spots, even in this one, it's all right there for me. I'm going to take a nice big inhale here. Get a little bit further. We're going to breathe in. So I feel some tightness here. I'm just going to breathe into those areas to try to let that relax more, and then complete the movement. Good. Switch sides. So again, bottom leg stays out straight. We don't hold the top knee underneath, just with the bottom arm. We go arm out front here. Bring the hand across the chest. Open up. One more. Good. Now we're going to trace. We'll go counterclockwise up from 3, 12. Pause here for a second. Now complete it back to 9. From 9, we'll go back around to 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, stop. 3. One more. Good. All right. So for the last thing we're going to do today, you're going to need a wall, a couch, physio ball, whatever you have. So if you've got a couch, you're going to back up into the couch. So this is my couch. We're going to back up. We're going to put that foot on the ball, put the feet to the couch or the arm, again, whatever. You can use a wall for this too. A wall is going to give you a much bigger stretch. And I'm going to bring that front foot up. I'm just going to get as nice and tall as possible. So I'm going to make sure that I'm not sitting back into that hip. I'm going to make sure I'm not extended into it. I want to get this hip as tall as possible without creating too much lumbar extension. So for that, I'm actually going to take my ribs and drive them down. I'm just going to hold this position for a bit. That stretch should be big into the quad. We're going to work its way up into the hip flexors. Okay, from here, we're going to open up. We're going to use a little bit of tension to help create a little bit more space in that hip capsule. So I'm going to drive my knee down into the ground and pull my hip up. At the same time, I'm going to drive this back foot into the ball. So I'm going to get a little bit of glute engagement to extend the hip. You should start to feel that stretch move from the quad up into the hip flexors. Nice big deep breaths. Good. Slowly come down out of that, and we're going to switch feet. So we're going to go back foot up on the right foot. Started on the left, up onto the couch or wall or ball, whatever you got. Definitely a little bit tighter on the side. And same thing, we're just going to chill out here for about a minute or so. Just making sure that I've got a little bit of pelvic tilt underneath. The rib cage is driven down. I'm not sitting back into the hip. All right, so we're going to start to add a little bit more strength and tension into this. If you need a deeper stretch, you can actually pull forward. Just make sure, again, that we're not here. We're leaning back and we're just going to lean forward to lengthen out through that hip. You can move the front foot with. We're going to do that. And what we're going to do, even if you're still in that same position, we're going to drive the hip down into the floor, pull the hip up at the same time, and then drive that back foot into the ball. Just going to add a little bit more tension to that, kind of chill out here.
Mitch can.
Good. Relax back into that and stand up. Give those legs a little shake out. So one thing I like to do to test how the hips are moving is just get my feet out into a squat position. Drop down into that squat as deep as you can. You can kind of move around in there. You can pry out a little bit if you want. Hopefully that squat position should feel a little bit better than when we started, especially if you just rolled out of bed, Woody. Good. You stand back up. How you feel?
Really good.
Sweet. That's all we got. Let's go kick ass today.
All right.
Can we watch Brendan hit some drivers?
We'll do that later.
All right.
I know you guys.
We're going to IG live Brendan bobbing driver later.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bud. Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye, Hayden's.
Bye.
Oh, man.
One phone at a time.
We
Guys.
just got to go one.